Hi, my name is Craig St. Jean. I'm the director of the OutSystems Center of Excellence at Netlink. If you haven't heard of OutSystems, it is a low-code development platform to build web and mobile applications at an enterprise scale much faster than normal. And today we're going to create a phone book for web and mobile as fast as we can while still encouraging reuse. And in part 2, we'll go ahead and add things like SMS integration, maps, and so on. So first thing that we're going to do is create a core service to hold our phone information. This is following the conventions laid out in the OutSystems architecture canvas. I'm going to create a contact table. Let's have a first name, a last name, and let's have a phone type. How about mobile, home, and work? And a contact can have more than one phone number. So let's have a reference to the contact ID, a phone number, and a phone type ID. And I'm going to make these available for other modules to reuse. And we'll go ahead and just create an ERD really quick just for the heck of it. That's what that looks like. And I click this one-click publish button. It's going to build the C# code and modify the database. And then our application will be live, or our service in this case will be live on our server. Now I'll create a web application. This will run on React.js. Only I won't have to write any of it. I'm going to pull in the database entities that I already created as dependencies. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new screen. OutSystems has a bunch of templates. They're already built out for us, so that way we don't have to do them on our own, though there's nothing that we couldn't have done manually. It's just a way of accelerating how we do development. And these can be themed and modified for our organization or however we want. So I'm going to replace this table with contact information, and let's create a contact detail screen to modify our contact information and then also pull in our phone numbers. So we're going to have this input parameter. Currently it's just using sample data. We're going to change that to be a contact ID. And again, we're going to use this data replace. OutSystems does a lot of things to hurry up development, but it doesn't always get everything perfect. For example, here we don't want this to be a text area. We want that to be just a text box. That's easy enough to change. And then I'm also going to drag in this contact phone entity. You see here it says get contact phones by contact ID. It already knows that we want to pull the phone numbers for that specific contact ID because the screen has an input parameter for that. But we only want to show this table if we actually have a contact ID, meaning I'm not just creating a new contact. And then we also want the ability to actually add a phone number. For that, I'm just going to use a modal. So let's have add contact. And we're going to drag on this pop-up. And this pop-up is only going to show up if is edit phone visible, if that's true. And what we can do is we can put a form here, and then let's have another local variable for our current contact phone. So this will be the one that we're creating or modifying. Drag that in here. We don't need to ask you what contact you're in because we already know that from where we had before. Let's take this save action, modify that a little bit. So we're just going to make a quick change to add an assignment on the current contact phone to the current contact ID. Otherwise, it would be created without actually having that information. OutSystems is going to create all these CRUD operations for us automatically for any entity. So we will go ahead and do that. There's a warning there. I'm not going to get into that in today's video. And then once we actually create that, we will hide the pop-up and reload the phone numbers right here. This get contacts was created to populate that drop-down that we deleted, so I can get rid of that. We probably also want the ability to cancel this form if we want. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll create an action, show hide pop-up. So we're just going to set the isEditPhoneVisible to the opposite of itself. So that way if we try to cancel this dialog, we can just close this pop-up. Or also when we want to show it, we can just show that pop-up. And I'm going to click this button down here to hide our pop-up because I don't want to see it anymore. I want to continue working on this. Our add contact is pretty straightforward. We're just going to clear out the information in the contact phone the current contact phone. And then we can call show hide pop-up. That'll show that. And we also want the save on our contact to work. So we can do a creator update on that. This is going against the contact's current record. And then let's just reload the table, but send you to the ID of the new contact. And so that should be that screen. Now the add contact button that is on the list screen, we don't want that to execute that action. We just want to take you to this other screen. And let's see what happens with that. I'm going to click click publish. The security warnings it's talking about is because I'm modifying the database straight from a client action. Again, I'll talk about that in a different video. I can click this open in browser. And now we can see we have our web application. Let's give it a try. So this showed up because now we're on an actual contact ID. And we can add additional contacts. I'm not going to worry about formatting at the second. And now we have Craig St. Jean. All right, a couple things that I noticed we need to clean up really quick. First, we need this to link into the contact details, and then we need to make the mobile app. So back in OutSystems, we're just going to say link to contact details. And we're going to pass in our current ID. That'll fix that. And while that goes, we're going to go ahead and create this mobile app. And we're essentially going to do the exact same thing that we just did, just it'll be for a mobile form factor. So just like before, we're going to pull in those database entities that we created from our core service. We're going to create a new screen. And since this is mobile, let's just go ahead and do a master detail. And so we'll create that from the template and then start changing over the sample data from the employee sample data that it starts with into our contacts. Once it creates the screen. Okay, so we have employee ID, which is for when you click on this list to show the details. So we're going to change that to contact ID of type contact identifier. We're going to bring in our contacts over this list, just like we've seen before. And if you click on the list, we've got this selected employee ID, which we're going to change to selected contact ID. Contact identifier. And then instead of get employee details, we're going to have a get contact details. So we're just going to delete these. And the reason that I'm deleting them instead of just deleting this entire aggregate and recreating it is because other things are referencing this already within our screen, and now I don't have to go and fix as many things. So this is the detail section that'll show up. So you can see it's already switched over to get contact details. That's because I reused that. And we're just going to change from our old data structure to our contact. I'm going to delete this because we don't have any profile information. Mobile, we're just going to make it read-only for this demo. And in this section, we'll pull in the phone numbers. So you can see if you look on the right here, we can select where this is going to go. Of course, I selected it in the wrong place. So I'm going to move those into this container with some margin on it. And we've got phone number and type. We're just going to get rid of the contact because we don't need that. We already know what contact we're in. And we're also going to add a filter on this get contact phones because we only want to show our current contact. This contact ID is this variable that's right here. Go back. And just fix this where we were referencing the previous data structure. And we'll go ahead and hit publish. And let's see what happens. It's going to create the mobile app. We can distribute this as a progressive web application or as a iOS, iPad, or Android native application. And we can do that by going into this distribute, generate, or distribute as a progressive web app. For now, we're just going to preview this. And this is what it's created for us. We can see we've got my name here. I've got my name. It's not pulling the phone numbers because I realized in OutSystems I didn't actually tell it to refresh that data source. So let's switch back over. And if we do an on list item click, we're just going to tell it refresh the get phones. I'm going to publish again. Then back in Chrome, I'm going to reload it. And now we have those. And if I open this up in my mobile device, it will then show up just like like you would expect, a shrunken version of it with a hamburger menu if I actually added one. And that's it. So if you want to learn more about OutSystems, tomorrow is the NextStep event. It is the annual conference for OutSystems. It's free to everyone. You get 2 days of great content. Actually, if you're in the Asia Pacific region, it starts in like 4 hours from this recording. I hope to see you there, and please let me know if you want to learn more. Thank you.